Hey guys, Boston, Massachusetts checking and good morning. So today, you know, I have it off. I don't have to return back to work until Thursday. All praises to the Most High. This is how they're trying to keep us functioning and working through this coronavirus because we are now essential employees, meaning we have to help conduct certain business in this state, no matter what. The car keeps rolling, you understand, and we're part of that. We're working through a very historical time right now, but we have to. In other words, I do have to, unfortunately, because I don't have any money, and that's how I get my money, is to go to work. Okay, just to buy the basic necessities. So anyways, today we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about part 2 of my neighbor put voodoo on me, how witchcraft is real. And this is a follow-up to the first video that I made, because it was inspired by Beyonce's drummer, whom feel like that Beyonce put voodoo on her. But anyways, so let me tell you about my story. So as I was saying, the reason I knew it was my neighbor is because I had a dream that she did this to me. So I was like, okay, I was dating this guy. It was, I had at this point left my house and went and moved into his house, and I was dating him, and so it was my daughter. So it was 3 figures that I seen, you understand? But when I seen it in a dream, I didn't see her face, but what I seen was her gather whatever objects she created, because she created these things. Like, it was 3 of them. It was 1 big one in the middle and 2 on the side. And I was like, but they looked like scarecrows in my dream. So I was like, this is what I seen on a wall that was outside of a wall in my house. So this is what I seen, and I seen her gather them and bring them into her house. So why would she do this to me? I don't know. I never had beef with her. But I remember my sister came to my house, and it was like around the 4th of July or a little after that or before that. Just maybe a day. Could have been like after that, before that. But my sister said, I feel something coming from downstairs and across the street, which was my neighbor. And I was like, really? I was like, no, I argued with my sister, because at this time I didn't even have no beef with this lady. Okay, so I'm like, no. I was like, I never even seen them even like kick it together. It was like almost a purge scene. Remember when they went to the door and it's like, y'all hang out? That's how I felt, like, y'all hang out? So now I feel like, damn, slighted, because my sister was telling me she felt something, and this is my first time like seeing it. So anyways, one night I'm chilling on the porch, right? And I think this is where the offense came in. So I'm chilling on the porch, me and my homie, and she comes out in a negligee, guys. So I'm like, this bitch is crazy. And I didn't say nothing, you know what I'm saying? It ain't my thing, so I don't care. If you want to give the bro poo, do you. You understand? Because, sometimes your neighbors like what you have. Okay? So anyways, I'm like, that was the first incident with this chick. Okay? The second one was, I had a garbage can on my porch, and she started throwing her trash in it. And at first I wasn't going to say anything, but I just knocked on her door and asked her to take the garbage out my trash can, basically. It wasn't hers, you understand? So, don't bother my things, it's private. I felt like she crossed my private line. So I think that's where the disdain started. The original, like anything against me, I guess. That was the only thing that I could say I truly did, was ask her to take her trash out my garbage. Real talk. So anyways, she had these things that was on her porch, and I was like, oh, that's cute. I thought it was art. I didn't know it was voodoo things, but it was disguised in art. And I thought it was her art her children made. I thought it was like some wind chimey shit, but I thought it was still art. It was still art to me. I'm an artiste and I like art. So that's what I thought. So one day my mom come through, and she's coming to bringing me like shrimp, which I don't eat shrimp. Yeah, let's see what I'm saying. So she came to bring me shrimp. She came to bring me vegetables, like these tomatoes and lettuce and something else. Some of the tomatoes I think was no good. So I went and threw the tomatoes in the trash. And when I threw the tomatoes in the trash, I seen the art that was on her porch. And I was like, oh, I thought at that point she was a mean mom. That's what I thought. So then I just looked at it like that. And I was telling the guy I was dating, I was like, yo, she threw her kids' art away. You understand? Because I couldn't fathom this was her shit. I thought it was kids' art. So I was like, oh, she's mean. So that's what I was telling the guy. You understand? So it's like, yeah, she realized her voodoo shit didn't work. And I was like, huh? Yeah, just like you're like, huh? So what happened? So I was just laughed and giggled, right? So anyways, one day, but this is when the voodoo did start working now. I had a chain, and the chain came off my neck. So the chain was the eye, the evil eye, that round eye, like the third eye. I had that. And that, it came off my neck one day. So I was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? It fell in front of my building, but I didn't think nothing of it. So I said to the guy I was dating, I was like, will you sew this on? And he sewed it on. He sewed it on with thread and red thread, sewing thread, and a needle. So that's how he sewed it on, so that I don't lose it, because I really love this necklace that I had. So he sewed it on. I was like, okay. So now, once I realized that I'm going to help somebody, and I went to go like this, and I realized the thing was off my neck. And so I went to the building, and I got it because it had fell off my neck in front of the building. So I go back. So I go one day in my house, okay? And I sit down, and I'm reading a book. At this time, I had like a Windstar van. I had a Hoopty Windstar van. I'm reading a book, and when I read the book, I'm just like, I got my head down reading the book, like what you do, how you read, the stance you use when you read it. And I lift my head, guys. And when I lift my head, it was like my neck locked. Like I heard something in my neck, and my neck locked. Like my neck was stiff, where I could not barely turn my head like left or right. So remember I told you like someone sealed something in my house. My brother told me, say your door was open, and I was like, my door was open. He was like, open. Now I normally leave my door unlocked, but I don't leave it open. But this time, particular time, my door was open. But anyways, and I'm saying I closed it. So now fast forward. After my neck had locked, okay, like I felt like my neck was being held up by sticks, but my neck had locked where I couldn't move it. I couldn't turn my head left or right, and I was driving, and I was very scared too because I had to be like this. Like, I guess when you get whiplash, but I didn't do anything to get whiplash. I was just reading a book, and I simply looked up, and when I did, my neck did like that. So it was like my head was like this on two sticks. That's the way it felt to me. And another thing that was odd in the feeling was when I drank liquid, it was like I could feel the liquid like going down my going down my neck. That's the best way to describe it. Like I could feel the liquid going down. And the only way I can get comfort is when I told the guy, like, press on my neck, like really hard, because I felt like it was like a muscle had tightened, and that was like the only way that I can get pressure, relieve the pressure. I felt like I had to relieve the pressure. So anyways, one day I'm coming back to the building, right? And I'm still not even thinking this chick did this to me. Okay? I'm still not thinking that this chick did this to me. So when I come back to the house, right? I'm saying, I see her, and she has like this look in her eyes, like this smirk, like, yeah. But I didn't know what that meant. I just was like, I thought she was happy because of my neck situation. So I was just like, oh, this bitch is a hater. This is what I'm thinking. Okay? I'm sorry. This story then went 12 minutes, guys, but it's going to be a long one because I ain't doing a 3. So we're going to wrap it up in 2, though. So I just said whatever, and I went upstairs. So I went to the hospital for this, guys. My mom gave me a Percocet for this. And when things are not natural, meaning like I took a pill, the pain should have did something. You understand? The doctors should have found something. You understand? And there's like, maybe you slept on your neck wrong. No, I did not. I explained to them what I'm explaining to you. I was reading a book and I lifted my head and boom, my neck was stuck like that. I did everything possible you can do, and that's what made me go to the hospital, because I did home remedies. I tried to do the pressure relief, and the guy, when he was doing that, like he did it, I was like, oh, it feels so good. And when it felt good, I had passed out, but I didn't even know it. And then he brought me back through, and he was like, yo. So he's like, I can't do that. And then, I was like, yo, this is really serious. But I was like, that's the only time it felt good. Like, it felt like good when he was doing it like that. So I started having these weird dreams, guys. And I'm not a dreamer. But I had a dream about I had a dream about candles in my wishing well. And my wishing well was basically 2 things happened. Someone poured the water out of my wishing well, and I found the wax sealed under my wishing well. And I knew that they sealed something on me, but I didn't know what. Okay. So I found that, and, it was just craziness. And I was dreaming, and at this time, I had just moved to this neighborhood maybe like 2 years, maybe 2-3 years. I had been in this new neighborhood. So this is a new neighborhood. The other neighborhood I lived in for 14 years. So this was a new neighborhood for me, okay? So anyways, I started dreaming like my fish. I had fish. And I started, like, my fish had died. It killed my fish. My girl, I started burning freaking frankincense stones. But what happened was, I had a dream about candles being the size of my wishing well, which was made from a pickle jar. Okay? And I had a dream of candles being that big and of these white people. And in my dream, the white people must have been like preachers or something, because I was like, you're a preacher. They never answered it. But I seen that they had an altar. I said, they got an altar like my altar, but their altar was bigger, and their candles were huge. Their candles was huge. Like, I never seen candles like this, but these candles was huge in this dream, and they were like red and green. And I was like, that's what I noticed about his candles and everything. And it was something else that I noticed about his candles. So I was like, but I seen by the candles, it was a tree with a preacher's number. And so that's what made me ask him, was he a preacher? But before that, I had dreamed like these fishes or whales. They were like whales. They looked like whales. But you know, like how you have like a drawbridge, like you see this in a picture, a summer picture. Sometimes you see this in calendars, like a barn house over a bridge. It was like that type of setting. It was a real weird setting. So, anyways, I seen these, what looked to me to be whales. Looked like whales in my dream. And they were gulping for air. That's what I remembered of the whales. They were like struggling, but they were gulping for air, like, and I was like, so that was going on. Okay? And the guy took me, like, we went past this room. In this room, I seen another candle, but it was like blue and it had water or something in it. So I was like, and I remember it was saying like a Chinese saying. It had a Chinese saying. And when I Googled it, it meant like good health, the Chinese saying. And the candle was like this very gorgeous, like, it was like a bright blue, like a cobalt blue. Cobalt blue. That's what the candle color was in my dream. Like a very light, like, blue. It was just weird. It was beautiful though. But I ended up finding that candle in real life in the old neighborhood, guys. Okay? That same candle that was in my dream, I ended up finding that candle in a store in my neighborhood. So, the people, they took me, this is where I woke up in the dream. Like, they took me to another section, and it was like the barn section. But when you open the barn section, you can look out, and I remember looking into some projects, like brown brick projects, because I was saying, like, the projects was like half of it had siding on it, and the other half you could see the bricks. And I remember somebody was going to jail because they murdered somebody. And that's what I clearly remembered about the dream. So I was like, yo, just talking to my boyfriend and shit, right? And after I went to the hospital, that's when I knew it was supernatural. And when I knew it was after I was like, went to the hospital, I knew it was supernatural and everything. I went to this root store, and I went and got this stuff, and I put 3 crosses on my neck. And that's what brought my neck back. Because something said earthly. You see, when they do that voodoo stuff, earthly, what it is, you can get earthly things to stop the effect. You know what I'm saying? Because it's the spirit making them use things to harm me. It's teaching them things to harm me. So whatever she did, she was very successful in it, because, like, guys, oh my gosh, I could not turn my head left. I couldn't do this. I couldn't do these 2 simple movements. I couldn't do this. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do anything. You understand what I'm saying? I couldn't do anything, guys, and nothing happened to me. So now, time goes on, I forget about it. I'm happy. I'm healed. I didn't think about it. You know what I'm saying? I still didn't know it was her, you know, but the dream told me. But even then, I was like, okay, it showed me that. I didn't do nothing. I didn't wish nothing on her or anything like that. But I could tell you what happened. So, one day I'm reading the Bible in my living room. And when I'm reading the Bible in my living room, okay, I hear like a slight knock on the door. Tap, tap, tap. And I thought I was crazy when I heard it the first time. So then I hear it again. So now I said, Jane, go get the door. That's my daughter's name. So I said, Jane, go get the door. So she go answers the door. And when she answers the door, she said, Mom, it's the lady next door. My daughter had to be about 11. I said I would never ever talk about this story because it was a very bad time for me, and very scary too. So I said, so she said, the lady next door. I said, the lady next door, because I know she didn't mess with me like that. You understand what I'm saying? So I was like, wonder what she want. This is what I'm saying to myself. Now, what does she want? So when I get to the hallway, her and her 2 daughters, I kid you not, her and her 2 daughters are sitting in the hallway. And she said, my father died and my mother died 6 months after having me. I don't want my children to be without a mother. I asked God to forgive me. Now I am asking you to forgive me. And I said, I forgive you, waved her off, and shut my door. That's how I know she did that to me. Whatever she did, her conscience didn't allow her to rest and ran her out her house. Whatever she did, it backfired. I've never witnessed anything like that, okay? But she did. She was scared out of her mind, guys. Okay? And that is the conclusion of my neighbor putting a voodoo spell on me. That was one of them. I gotta tell you about the second one. A new story. I'll tell you one day. Bye.